recently, Tanya Unkovic and myself, we talked about the whole area of addictions, and one of the most important parts of healing when it comes to addiction is the whole idea of acceptance. Hey, thanks for being in the studio again, Tanya. It's so nice to have you here.
Oh, it's always good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, acceptance. You say it's one of the most important parts when it comes to something like an addiction. Why is this?
Well, if you keep staying in denial, you're not going to want to get well. If you keep finding reasons that it's not your fault, it's someone else's fault, this is just a short-term thing, then you're not going to have this desire to go, enough is enough. It's about accepting, okay, I do have a problem here. I don't seem to be able to stop drinking. I don't seem to be able to stop overeating or doing whatever it is. Maybe I just need to accept that this is a problem. There is something I need to look at, and I'm ready and willing to do it now.
I think the last time we talked, you said it's when you realise that that thing has become unmanageable, right?
Accepting that life is unmanageable if I keep doing this. And, you get to a point where the pain of using whatever it is that you're using is far worse than the pain of looking at your life and looking at what's really going on. And it's about accepting, if I don't do this now, then, wow, what's life going to be like in 12 months' time if I don't do this?
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing, isn't it? So when we make that decision, and it isn't a decision of going, okay, I accept my lot right now, it's not great, I want to change, how do we then go about the process of overcoming this adversity, whatever it might look like? It may not be an addiction, we're talking about that, but it may be something else.
We're all going to be faced with stuff in life, aren't we? We're all going to be faced with some form of suffering, whether it is an event, a bereavement, the loss of an animal, the loss of our job, a massive fight with your loved one. It's about going, okay, what is right now. And I can either choose to stay in this place of grief and suffering, or I can choose to go, actually, I want to go into a better frame of mind. I don't want to be in a state of suffering. I want to be in a beautiful state. Because actually there's nothing I can do about what has happened. It's about accepting it. Yes, it doesn't feel comfortable, but how long am I going to stay in this suffering?
Yeah. So, I mean, that really does truly sound like a place of acceptance, doesn't it, Tanya?
Yeah.
And as a result, it's firstly saying, okay, time for a change. This is not going to be good if I continue down this path. So, from there on in, is this something that you do with others? Create, this pathway with a loved one, or is this a journey that you do on your own? How do you do this?
Well, it depends really. It's always good if you have a belief to go, actually, I'm just going to sit here with you, God, and I accept that this is something that I'm struggling with right now.
Yeah.
If you are struggling to accept it, then ask for the willingness to accept it. And sometimes it's not an event, it might be a person. Help me to accept this person right now. Help me to accept this flow of life right now. Help me to accept these events.
Yeah. So when you've gotten into this place of acceptance, it's something that you'd probably have to do every day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just learn to go with the flow of life rather than feeling that, because otherwise it's either acceptance or control, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So if you always feel in this place of control, I have to make sure that everything goes according to my own beliefs or this plan. Anything is basic, even as what you eat. You're trying to control what you eat. You're always going to be in this rigid place, and these rules are going to keep you stuck. They're going to keep you stuck in your thinking in life. So many people come to me and they say, I just want to feel free. I want to be free. Imagine if you were able to go in the flow of life one day at a time, accepting whatever comes your way, how free you would feel.
I think, and I was talking to someone the other day and they said 2020 was the year they learned that suffering is inevitable, that actually accepting that suffering is a part of life, and going with the flow, I guess you could say, with that, and saying, okay, I'm not in a good space. I don't have to stay here, but this is where I am at the moment, and there is suffering.
Yeah. Like opportunity. Always what follows opportunity is a challenge, and then comes opportunity again and another challenge, right? And that is life.
Yeah.
You know, it is a series of sufferings. It's a series of griefs. And in between each of those is joy, is happiness, is laughter, is expansion. And it's about recognizing when it is there and feeling the joy, allowing yourself to feel it, but also know that when suffering comes, why not try and have the two dance together, the joy and the suffering, instead of going, it's only one or the other.
Yeah.
You know, just let it flow more. We're so often constrained by our own rules that we don't live. And that's why we feel stuck.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that, actually. So, I mean, there is a really great side to this whole area of acceptance. And one of those things is actually it helps you to be less judgmental, right? That's a big thing.
I know. Not only of yourself, but of others as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's about accepting ourselves. It's about accepting others, you know, remembering the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and to know the difference between what you can change and what you cannot change.
Yeah. And I guess too, if you're in this going with the flow thing one day at a time, then perhaps it actually helps when it comes to the whole arena of fear and maybe some of the big things that are going on in the world, right?
Oh, without question. I mean, if we were to all be going, what's going to happen? None of us know what's going to happen. So if we can just accept that within this day, within this 24 hours, everything is actually okay.
Yeah.
And I'll sort out tomorrow when it comes. But today I'm going to accept what is. Because if we don't, we're going to miss out on today. And each day goes so quickly, doesn't it? How you do one thing one day is actually ultimately how you live your life.
Yeah, one day at a time. I
One
love
day at a
it.
time.
I love it, Tanya. Thanks so much for being on the show today. It's a big topic, a really, really important topic, and I think one that hopefully people feel really hopeful around. Okay, I accept this one day at a time. Let's work with it.
Yeah, let go of that white knuckle. It isn't going to serve you.
Thanks again.
Bye.